Had to start a new stream. I told you to kill it. I told you. I told you. I told you. They would cut the feed. I knew it. I knew they would. Man, I told you they'd cut the feed. I knew it. You don't like the politically correct, do you, YouTube? Ah, told you they'd kill it. I knew they'd kill it. I knew they would kill it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I told you they'd kill it. Hope everybody makes it back. You'll find another one. I told you they'd kill it. They don't like me very much. Hey. What's up? Did you know cannabis was your friend? Huh? You've learned something today. I'm so proud of you. I am working on a small drone built from parts that have been sitting in my garage for years. I am 3D printing it, running it with a Speedy F405, and it's an old Tornado V1 motor, 4100 kV. System runs on a 4S 14.8 volt. Speedy F405 V3 with a Radio Master RTX. I think it's the EVP V3. I believe is the model. And I'm going to be experimenting with it in a 3D printed drone that looks remarkably like an appendage. And that is the Dildrone. If you see this in my shorts in the past, the shorts videos, not my shorts. That would make this OnlyFans, and it's not, it's YouTube. Get your minds out of the gutter. Refer to the shorts, look up the name. It's just as it sounds, I mean. And you'll understand what I'm building. And I was in the middle of showing you that when I was cut off during the previous live stream that I started, because I knew this would happen. I knew that they would kill it as soon as they saw me and I started talking about things that they didn't like. And that's why we're back. concept or image or description. Actually, if you look in the shorts, every time I say that, I will. Okay. Shorts videos. You're obviously going to see what one looks like in your shorts. You'll see Dildrone, Dildrone, in the shorts videos. Not too long ago, I had just designed it in Fusion. I'm printing it now. I'm on the second to last part of printing. And then we shall assemble. I will take you over once again and show you the parts that I do have. And you'll associate that with the image in your mind of the short. And you'll understand. Well, so for those of you brave enough to tread the waters of my channel and find the Dildrone video, short that is, you will know what it is we are discussing this evening. And eventually I'll remember that I'm American and I don't have an accent. But sometimes it's fun to pretend, is it not? I love those shorts that you get, or no, the reels. I like going through Instagram. And some guy with like Skittles for teeth came up there with a mask and I said, "Would you have broken your house?" And they'd be like, "Well, why would I tell you here? Why don't you just come over and find out?" It'll be a fond memory for a last memory. Now, in all seriousness, I was running onto some reels. I actually was discussing the Bible with a girl who assumes that Donald Trump is the Antichrist. That was laughably ridiculous. She's entitled to her opinion. She spouted off a few verses out of context and didn't take into consideration a lot of what was written there. So I just told her, I said, look, this isn't... Every time she answered me, there was an insult or a veiled insult at the very beginning. The girl couldn't be more than 20, 25 years old. And doesn't realize I've been alive a lot longer than she has. And the hell that she thinks she's saving everybody from, I've already been through. And she doesn't get it. She's completely convinced she's right. And that's typical, don't get me wrong, of that age bracket. Especially females. Don't get mad at me. You know I'm right. Okay? Just give us that one for crying out loud. I mean, you get in that age bracket, you think you are right. Everything we say is wrong or stupid. Unless it cost us money and it was for you and it was sweet. And you didn't expect it because you're like sweetness from nowhere? Then you start wondering what we did wrong that we're trying to hide or make up for ahead of time. And then, anyway, I'm getting off the point. The point is, she was giving us scripture, telling me I'm wrong and correcting her, which Paul said that women couldn't preach anyway, unless it was to women younger than them, and not to men. God's law, not mine. And she kept pointing, the point was she was taking verses out of context for the purposes of calling Donald Trump the Antichrist. And I think everybody that has ever disagreed with any politician that has any religion whatsoever thinks that person running the country is the Antichrist. Have you freaking been to Somalia? You think it's bad here? Jeez. Your version of bad here is you couldn't get your flavor of freaking mocha, freaking soy oatmeal latte this morning. That was your version of bad. Their version of bad is believing in Christ and getting their heads chopped off for it. And you seem to be totally, you and your self-righteous behavior go off and just tell me, someone who's been through in this world, through hell, died twice, been electrocuted more times than my television takes energy for. I can't even compare all the shit that I've been through. And you know who brought me through it? Regardless of my cursing, forgive me, Lord. I do it all the time. You know that. You made me. God got me through it. God got me through it. But he gave me a good wife. He gave me a good life. He forgave me. I grew up knowing him. And only him as a father. Grew up without a father. I grew up without a mother. I went through it, and you're going to sit here and tell me that you're sitting here prophesying for the purposes of making other people hate somebody. That's not preaching the word. Divide rightfully the word of God. Divide rightfully. And that means if you choose a verse that supports another verse, that supports a theory, that supports a belief, and that brings people to the understanding of how God is and the grace that he offers, that's rightly dividing the word. You tell them what they need to hear out of the Bible so that they understand. Because when they start to understand, then they'll understand other things in the Bible on their own. And that teaches them wisdom. They say, oh, the Holy Spirit taught me. Really? What's his name? Can you tell me his name? Because I believe it was in the old Greek or Hebrew. He was actually called Ruach HaKodesh. Did you know that? No, of course not. You're just going to spawn out reels on Instagram for likes. And they get into a conversation with me, and instead of actually debating with me or talking civilly, you start off with an insult or snide comment. Like you just can't believe somebody disagreed with you. With your freaking L'Oreal bullshit hairdo. Your entire belief system's as fake as those fake blonde roots come out of your hair. Shit pisses me off. Starting to prophesy to me about the Bible and the drapes don't even match the curtains. That's the shit that pisses me off. And I have to be crass about it, but you know what? I'll bring the sword. So there. Our sword feels a lot better. Yeah, but he's entitled to her opinion. It's just like, look, if you're going down the escalator and I'm going up the escalator and I go to grab your hand and you pull it away, I'm not there to hurt you. I'm there to help you. Kids these days. And they know everything, don't they? Everything. Got a tattoo for every experience. Oh man, that online media shit was hard when I was growing up. You see? They put me in, you know? I got tatted up. Google. Google, folks. Google. That's what we hang with down here, Google. Fuck that Microsoft Edge shit. Yeah, I'm not even culturally appropriating because my ancestors actually are indigenous Americans. So for all those who offends, you can go fuck yourself. Hard. Fucking Gen Zers. This new freaking group of kids, man. Problem was, parents didn't hold them. Didn't teach them. Didn't say that your phone, social media, entertainment is a privilege. Not a right. You earned that shit. When I wanted to watch TV, I had to make sure all my chores were done. All kinds of stuff. You know? I made rules for myself. My grandmother's the one who raised me because I didn't have a mom or dad. I had a mom, but she was disabled, so I mean, it's like being raised. She was a good woman. Don't get me wrong, when she was young, but who the fuck can be raised by Helen Keller? But the point was, my grandma did the raising, so I grew up with having to do certain things before I would have a privilege. We didn't have anything. We were poor. Everybody was. We still went outside. We went outside and played. I was 5 years old, jumping off the roof with a parachute tied to my friggin' shorts. Well, a sheet. Technically, it was a parachute. In my eyes. And at the time, that's all that mattered. And the joy I felt in the air was beautiful. It was when I hit the ground I realized I had made some calculation errors. So, without going on, that's the internet for you in a nutshell. There's people, and then people that don't usually hang out on the internet their entire lives, whom we call smart people. So it's kind of backwards. So you have the phone and then the smartphone, but the people on the smartphones aren't the smart people. The people on the regular phones are the smart people. Whatever. It works in my universe, so I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks. I know you didn't come here for a comedy routine, but I have never claimed to be a stand-up comedian. Matter of fact, I'm sitting down. Oh, you did not miss anything, I can tell you that. To be honest, I don't even remember which vertical takeoff drone you're talking about, because I have several. Well, yeah, you make a good point there. You make a very good point. T. Spazzy official. That's a very good point. Christ teaches love. Christ teaches salvation, forgiveness, that kind of thing. And that's why I don't hate her for insulting me, when she talked back to me, so on and so forth. If there was a delay, I apologize. So if that text came through earlier for you, it didn't for me. With the wings, you're talking about the jab. I'll get right to you. Hold on 1 minute. But yeah, Christ doesn't teach that. And we constantly encounter this kind of opposition on the internet, constantly. And usually if somebody has posted something about it, you cannot change their mind. They are there to share their opinion with people who they believe they can just shut off if they disagree, or they don't have to answer, or they can block them. So it's their safe space. They already know they've lost. They're just practicing in the corner. See what I mean? Okay, so there you go. So that's their opinion. Very simple. If they want to sit down with me and debate me about it, I'd be happy to. If they're across the country, yeah, I get it. We'd have to do it over cameras or whatever. Do it live. But if they're close by, I'll sit down with you at a coffee shop and talk about it. That's simple. But the people who do put up posts like that, directed at people to try and get people to hate somebody else, that's inherently what she's doing. She's trying to use the word of God to promote hate, not what Christ told us to do. So, I fear for her soul. I'll tell you that. I do. And I pray for it too. I do. I genuinely hope that she sees the light. That I'm not here to call her out or make her look stupid or anything like that. I'm here to try to educate her on it. Because she's younger than I am. And I've been through plenty of experiences. And if you think experience doesn't make you a more wise person, then you're wrong. That means that you're young. If you don't believe age makes you wise, that's because you're young. That cut and dry. So, let's see. Yes, the one with the wings. I'm supposed to glide for injury. Yeah, that was the javelin, and it is still in the works. It's just not in the print shop. I'm not actually printing it at the moment because I've decided to go with 90 millimeters for that specific build, but that pushed me towards another project, which was the Stubby Fan project and the playlist, the Mach 1 playlist and the Stubby Fan playlist. When I got to the point where I was tired of having to pay for the expensive EDF motors, that's where I decided I don't want to do this anymore. It's costing me too much money to make this and then fail and have to, buy another one. I don't have that much money on debt benefits. Okay, fixed income. That's all there is to it. So what I did was start designing a motor of my own. Well, it ended up being 170 millimeters and having to be driven by a really hefty 110 to 190 kV motor with a 4-to-1 gear ratio gearbox. I mean, it got complicated. So now I went into an ADHD rabbit hole on that one. Okay, so that's what happened to the Jav. The Jav is still on the table. I still have all our files. I'm going to do some adjustments to the internal body work so I have some hatches that I can get to and get the wires and the ESCs in properly, instead of focusing strictly on the aerodynamic design that I was doing before and then rushing the whole thing. I also was experimenting with different materials like PLA Aero and ASA Aero, which I will never buy again. As a matter of fact, I'd rather just build the whole damn thing out of PLA or PETG or carbon fiber PETG. Because if you printed it, if it's a big plane and you printed it at with a 6 millimeter nozzle on a Bamboo X1 carbon, with literally a 3 to 5% gyroidal infill, depending on the size of your airfoil, it's perfect. It's lightweight. It's perfect. It's better than the friggin' expanding foam crap. Okay. I didn't buy a 3D printer so I can print out foam and then break it. It's just that simple. I also didn't buy a printer that couldn't print some of the foam that it was told that it could print. I'm sorry, Denver Lab, you dropped the ball on that one. You made it up with it with the TPU for the AMS, and you still dropped the ball on the ASA Aero. Okay? And I should have asked for my money back, but I didn't, out of the kindness of my heart. I'm sorry. I lied. I'll be asking for my money back. But yeah, the Jav is on the table, but we are going to switch to 90 millimeters, which means I'm going to actually be pulling less volts, which is going to give me the opportunity to use a smaller power distribution board and put in better heat sinks, things like that, and not tax the ESC so much. As a matter of fact, the 90s that I can get could still run off of the iFly 80 amp, but some of the 90s I have call for 120 amp. And I was going to go with D-Shot, but I thought, you know what, I'm still in the experimental phase at this point. Standard ESCs would be fine. D-Shot are too expensive anyway, because what they do is they branded them. It's like where some dude in a t-shirt is like, in a flat hat and whatever else, ironed out. That looks dumb as shit, by the way. Basically they're wearing the branding. It's all about the branding, but it's the same Chinese shit. So don't let anybody fool you. Just because they put a fancy friggin' anodized aluminum heatsink on it doesn't mean it made it any better than the shit you can already buy. So analog is good. Analog is good because digital is just digital. I mean, if I have to explain it, then you're a little young for this channel. Analog is smoother. They say digital is smoother, but what they're trying to do is make digital as smooth as analog. And it's easier just to use an analog ESC. So yeah, there's that. You can still get quick response time as long as you know how to fly something. Don't blame it on the flight controller. In the end, it's going to be about having actual control, as opposed to, I want to go this way, so the drone makes whatever decision it decides to make to do that, as opposed to having direct control. So the 90 millimeters, the 120 amp ESCs, actually I was going to put a 10,000 milliamp pack in it at about 100 C. So yeah, 10,000 milliamp pack, 100 C, and then it's 22.2 volt. And I could push it through the Taro power distribution board because it's 480 amp board. So I'd have some overhead. Or I'd be right at the peak, but you're never going to push that much. So if you're pushing that much consistently, then you deserve your engine and ESC just to explode. If you're at full throttle 24/7, you know. The point is to make it more powerful than I need it to be, so I don't have to push it to its max. So it's going to be done again. It's just going to be done with 90s. EDF is necessary for a few reasons, but for the main reason, it's about one of my future projects. And all of this plays together for a future project that everyone will see. And it will be an amazing project. It's going to be a surprise. If I gave it away now, who cares, right? But you will see it. So yes, the EDFs are definitely a necessity. Analog is cheaper. Yeah. If you find a standard 120 amp ESC and then go find a D-Shot an ESC that runs D-Shot, I'm not gonna throw name brands out there because I don't want to dog on them or have them be like, I'm gonna sue him because we're not selling enough product. Look up any kind of ESC that runs D-Shot. D-Shot 600, D-Shot 300, D-Shot 250 or 150, whatever, and you'll see the differences between the ESC, an analog ESC, a standard regular analog ESC that doesn't plug into a flight controller or isn't meant to, but is used for that purpose. They use them for standard RC aircraft, like that runs off a Spectrum receiver. Flight controllers are what D-Shot ESCs are specifically designed for, in a sense. So that'll kind of give you an idea of how to differentiate between what I'm talking about. Yeah, it was. So the jab is on the table. I just knew that I was going to have to go 90. So on the millimeter for the EDF, or I was going to have to, because I was tired of buying motors that I kept burning up because I was practicing, figuring out how to do this stuff. I hope that's not my car. I don't want to have to shoot anyone tonight. I think it's a neighbor. Okay. So, yeah, the biggest part for me was having to buy more motors. So I ended up having to take the Shrike apart. I had to end up taking the Shrike apart to use its parts to build the Javelin. So that's what I didn't want to have to do again. And that's why I'm trying to get to the point where I can afford to just buy what I need to buy and then build the drone. Because I was actually on, I was to the point where I was like, I was building the drone. I'm like, this is beautiful, but I know I need to move on because they're going to want to see more of my ideas, more of the content. So I had to sacrifice what I'd already built. So, and that's what kind of ticked me off. I want to be able to build a Shrike 70, put it on the shelf, have fun with it when I want. And then I want to be able to build the Javelin, fly it when I want, not have to take it apart to do my next project. I want to build the Shrike XL, be able to have fun with that. I want to build the SR-72 Dark Star. That's going to be run by 2 stubby fans. And I want to be able to have fun with that. I want to be able to run Sally, which is sitting back there, which I already printed and has a 90mm in it. I'm just waiting for a good ESC because I don't trust the avian that's sitting on it. And the reason why is because for some reason they're the highest quality explosives you'll ever see. And they say they can handle this, and then they just explode at random. And I wondered why, and I thought I'm going to buy it and trust it anyway because I figured it was user error. But it said this is a frequently returned item. Like Amazon actually warned me. They're like, they frequently send this one back. Are you sure? So that's, yeah, I did that. I went ahead and, you know, I'm gonna get the ESC that I want, the analog ESC. I'm not going for this high-tech crap. It's real simple. You know, like a lo-fi drone running EDFs. The latest drone design, the one that went, hold on, I'm reading your question. The latest drone design that I have is actually an open prop drone. I've sort of ducted it in a sense, but if you look at the, I'll show you the big drone motor that I'm working on for the bigger drone, but I'll show you the small one I'm putting together out of the parts that I found in my garage. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. So strong enough for delivery. Also, have you considered drone strong enough for delivery? I was just curious on what you mean by that, but I can't show you the drone with wings because it no longer exists. But I'll show you the ones that I'm building. So, yeah. All right, let's do that. So we have, that's not the drone, that's Sally the plane. This is parts to the Dildrone. And you can look that up in a short. You'll see it there. I wonder if someone from YouTube saw that and thought that was something else. Which means YouTube, you're retarded. This is one of the sides that I'll be pushing for the drone, so it kind of gives you an idea. So this would be the front probably, and then you'd have the body and the battery pack. You've got the place for the SpeeDB, and here's all the parts. So you got the 4100 T motors on the KV, and you got the props, which are roughly 80mm. The SpeeDB F405 and the ELRS by Radio Master, and I'll be running on the TX16S. So I do have the main body on the printer. So after it goes in, that'll hold the battery vertical. And I'm just using this little Z 1500, but it is a 120C pack. And I actually am starting to think that I could put two of them in there and just run them in series. If the drone can handle the weight, we're going to try it with one first, obviously. But the SpeeDB will sit at the bottom. And just over that, you'll have a shelf for the battery. That's on the actual body part that I'm printing now. And this is the channel for the ELRS controller that goes up the body, and then out the top of this channel for the antennas. And this is the battery hatch for the body. So it kind of sits like that. And if you see the short in my shorts playlist, then you'll know what it is. You'll know what it looks like. And you'll know why I called it that. So I know people hate me for it, but hey, whatever. Bitter coffee, right? Makes you bitter. Bitter coffee for bitter people. Go get yourself some. Check the link in my bio. Breakfast and bread. Sorry, I knew I said it backwards. And I know PXT would probably laugh his butt off right now, but he's probably buying metal. Breakfast in bread with the letter N in the middle, and that's .store. But the link is in my bio. They have great coffee. He has got some merch up there. Help the guy out. He's a great guy. He makes some good coffee. You'll love it. And so that's what we're doing at this point here. Oh yeah, I should probably show you this. You probably want to see this. This is the. Hold on, let me read what you said. This is the 170 millimeter stubby fan. Right here, just so you can watch that while I'm reading your chat. I don't have one with wings yet. This is what this is for. So 2 of these will go. This is a front drive system if I want to go that route for CG. And then I have the rear drive system here. Both 4-to-1 gear ratio. This is a different gear drive box than this one here. It's actually run by the motor mounted up here. And then there's a gearbox down there, 4-to-1. So 2 of these are going to drive the SR-72 Blackbird. Sorry, the SR-72 Dark Star model that I have scaled up for this. So that's some precision, ain't it? So yeah. Basically, those are what those 2 motors are for. And we're going to test that motor as soon as I get its power plant in, which is a 110 kilovolt 110 kilovolt 7070 from FlipSky, which is actually 75 volts. But I'm only going to push 50 through it, so it should be fine as far as not overheating anything. And it's going to be pushed through a 48 volt 150 amp ESC. And I have a power meter here so we can see how many amps, how many volts we're going to be using. And I'll be pushing it with 2 of these G Plus 70C CNHL, sorry, G Plus 2200 milliamp 70C 2200 milliamp lipos. Probably should get some bigger packs when I actually run the thing the way I want to, but it's still going to be easy to test with this as far as getting the actual pounds of thrust I'm getting out of it, which are it's around 55. There are several designs. Are you talking about the motor itself? Is that what you're referring to? Okay, yeah, you're saying the variant. Yeah, there's quite a few designs. That big motor up there is actually going to be running a drone. So I'm going to have 4 of those large red ones that you were seeing for the rear drive. The plane will probably be, like I said, either an SR-72 for the dual engine or an F-35 for the single engine. So I haven't quite decided yet on whether I'm going to do an F-22 Raptor. But it's all going to depend on when I'm able to get the supplies so I can make the molds I need to. Because I have the models in Fusion. I'm still working on, even today, making modifications as I go along. And then I can tool path it out to the MPCNC that you see behind me, which is actually another machine that I printed with the 3D printer. So I made a 3-axis CNC with the 3D printer for this purpose. And for other purposes, but this is mainly what it's for.
Father.
Hold on one moment.
I need to send
Yes.
message. You need to change your camera a little to the left.
Okay. For what? Hold on, guys. I'm having a funny discussion.
And here to send
For what
message.
reason?
You're on the
Okay,
edge.
oh look, I can see it. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, I will. I'll do that. I'll do that. They told me I wasn't in the center of frame. Hold on. Let me get in the center of frame. Hold on. Let me go back this way. Okay. There, I think I'm almost there. Okay, there we go. See, I knew she was gonna laugh. I knew she was. That's what she heard. I hope it picked it up. Dorito, anyone? Mmm. Chad got screw in here. EJ. How's it going? Got your cup today. I'm sure you saw. Everyone say hi to CJ. He's a coffee man. You have to. So any other question? Not any other project? Or where we're at on the Dildrone? Anything at all? You guys are the why I do this. You're the reason. So hope you appreciate it. No more comments, I see. No comments, no questions? Want to see any more stuff? Basically, that's what's going on. Right now, we are printing everything we need for the drone. The Dildrone specifically. It will be... I'll try and test flight in here. It depends really on the ground effect I get in the shop. I may just take it out in the backyard so I've cleared off spots. But my biggest fear is like I'm going to try it and it's going to go pew! And then there's going to be an Austin Powers moment. So, yeah, that would be funny. So yeah, we're probably going to test it here, but I may make sure that I have the netting, that sun netting that I have in my backyard up. So when I do test it outside, if something goes wrong, at least the net will catch it. At least I'll have a chance of catching it. As long as my PID gains aren't too high. I think with the weight of this, with the added printed weight, I think it's going to balance out perfectly. So, anybody have any other questions? What do you want, like for example, well, we already know where we're going to do a Strike XL. That's going to be the biggest UFO sighting this side of California. I'll tell you that. That'd be funny. We're going to film that from the ground and on board. I want to try and get a PTZ camera on top, so I can see all the people looking up. Or one hanging from the bottom, at least. So I can see all the people pointing up with their phones. That'd be funny. What do you think? That'd make for a fun video. Because one version I want to hang a really condensed bright spotlight, you know, and fly over a random individual. I think it's a UFO, and they turn the light on and they run like hell thinking they're going to get taken up by an alien or something. That'd be a prank. I'd feel bad for the guy. It's like a wolf chasing you down. So, hey, it's sorry. You're not gonna want to stop to hear what he has to say. That I think would be funny. You cut me at YouTube? Betty's on the red button again. Just waiting. Plug this tablet up in a minute so I can keep watching the chat. Hold on 1 second, guys. people just showing up. They're like, look, a live stream of a chair. So you guys have any other questions at all about what we're doing? Anything you want to talk about? The old icebreaker used to be, how about them Lakers? Say that now, everyone would be like, what's a Laker? Aliens. I don't know how far behind the chat. It was like random word pop-in session, I guess. I don't know where the chat is in line with what you guys are actually seeing. Because I don't know how much delay there is. Because you just said aliens. Tell me why. Oh, I gotcha. Okay. I guess I did ask that question. Sorry, it's my brain. It's currently off at the moment. Well, I don't believe in them. I do, however, find it very amusing when you're scrolling through reels or sent one by your wife because you both want something to laugh at. About somebody claiming they're a Palladian or they can do a, what do you call it? Not astral projecting, some kind of, I don't know. Either way, every one of them end up at the center of the moon talking to some galactic federation. All right. And all I gotta say is, if there ain't no freaking Yoda, you're all full of shit. I think it's funny to watch those guys. They really do. It's very entertaining. And they're like, I'm like, what the hell is this person talking about? And they're like, oh yeah, remote viewing. That's what it was. She's like, remote viewed, and they went into the center of the. And I told her, I said, can you remote view a colon? I want to make sure I don't have any pallets I have to have removed. And a lot of people liked the comment, but some people didn't. They definitely hate it when I correct them on biblical stuff. That's the funny part. But when it comes down to the people who think that they're aliens already, my only question is, are you a legal alien, Mr. Palladian? Show us your green card. That's what our lighter's for. No, that's funny when people do that. I see some of the strangest crap on some of the reels. I don't even know how it even come across my phone. I think it's because you get mesmerized into watching something. You're like, you ever been watching something so absolutely ridiculous you just couldn't look away? And I think that's the algorithm picks that up as you being interested in it, and you actually want to keep, so they keep feeding you the same one, or the women that are saying they don't eat men or something like that. That's the funniest part. Yeah, that is the funniest part. You know how Africa looks right now with all their grass huts? That's where you'd be without us. Well, sorry. I'm not someone who's like, you know, against women or anything like that. I'm just saying, you'd all be in grass huts, bottom line. And you'd all be on some slim fast diet. Yes, people do think they're cats. I forget what they call them. That to me is also quite hilarious. Because they actually have, they're called furries, I think. And they actually have furry parties. And we all know what that's about. So, because we've heard the stories and probably ran onto a couple of videos of some really, really odd behavior, which makes you wonder. It's what's funny is when I see one human walking another human, like, and they're pretending that they're a cat or something like that, and I honestly want animal control to take one of them if they don't have a license for them and shove them into one of those tiny cages and then take them down and spay them or neuter them and then charge the person for an adoption fee. That's what I want to see. Like, you really want to play the game, we're going to go 100%. Okay? 100%. Yeah, furries. That's what I was talking about. I'm telling you, if you're gonna go out into the wilderness and pretend you're a deer, I'm not going to jail for shooting your ass. Okay? I'm not even gonna get in trouble for trying to share your meat. It's like, this deer had an excellent calf muscle. Anyway, my point is, it's running on people like that it stirs two types of emotions. It's funny because I have a very sarcastic sense of humor, and then there's the other part of me that's like, this poor human being, what they're missing out on, the whole reality bit, and we're not even going to get into the alphabet community because that shit just pisses me off, okay? It really does. So, we're not going there. We're not going to the alphabet community. We just can't. And we're going there, right? Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Everybody knew. Guy on the red button right now. We're going to cut the feed. That pisses me off too. For several reasons. Not because the person is trying to pretend that they're somebody else. They've been doing that since they were 5. It's the entitlement of the fact that I'm supposed to somehow know what the fuck you call yourself today. And that kind of stuff really irritates me. Because I hate getting in trouble for shit I know I didn't do on purpose. And then I'll lie about what I did on purpose. Just that simple, okay? So if I try to excuse myself and I call somebody ma'am because they are a ma'am and they say, they get pissed off and want to throw something at me because of that, it's like, I'm not a ma'am, okay? I am a man. And then I'm going to say, okay, then here, have a right cross, dude. So that's the way it's going to go down, plain and simple. I'm not playing your games, okay? You want to watch a fairy tale? Go to Disney. I'm sure you can watch Denzel Washington be Snow White. That's basically where it's gone, That's all there is to it. Disney sold out like a lot of other people. There's a couple of actors they used to like that sold out, They hate Trump. They hate Trump. He's a fascist. Blah, 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 blah. All while they're just trying to, get to their Diddy party. So, yeah, I don't want to hear that bullshit from the actors. Like freaking Robert De Niro. You piece of shit. You're a dick. I hope you see this. Robert De Niro, I want to tell you something right now. Fuck you. You got something to say? Come say it to my face. Fucking traitorous fucking prick. If I see somebody burning a flag, I'm going by constitutional law. Right then and there. The old death penalties were more fun. I'm not exactly sure who decided that we need to be humane on the death penalty. I mean, if somebody is what they've done warrants the death penalty, why should you care whether it's humane or not? You're going to try and show that person humanity on their last few moments on earth when they've earned death? Make that shit brutal. I mean, come on, man. Grow some balls. Yeah, we probably won't. No, we will. Because we have freedom of speech in this country. If they don't monetize me, I'll sue the shit out of them. And then guess who YouTube's going to belong to? This guy. I'll get Muskin on this bitch. We'll take them all. That's what we need to do. So we already took back the Oval Office, the Senate, Congress. You know, so we might as well take the rest. They don't want to play fair. That's obvious. CNN, first time they televised one of Trump's rallies was the only one that they've ever televised was the one where he almost got shot. I wonder why that is. Same thing happened with Kennedy. I wonder. As every 3-letter agency enters the chat, fuck you all too. Oh, yeah. That's the way it is. You gotta stand up for your values no matter what someone tries to do to you. Because if you don't and somebody walks up on you and punks you, it's your fault. Bottom line is, you don't stand up for what you believe in, you're getting your ass handed to you. That's all there is to it. So when he comes up to me and starts talking shit, I'm gonna try and say, look, man, what's your problem? Everything's cool. No violence necessary. I will defend myself in the most brutal way possible. So the point is never forgotten. Why you shouldn't fuck with me. Real simple. I can forgive a lot. But you cross a line. That's all there is to it. Yeah. It's your coffee's fault. It made me bitter. And if you want to be as bitter as me, go get yourself some bitter coffee at Breakfast in Bread. I can't remember it all the time. Breakfast in Bread. Get your merch, get your coffee. I love the cup. The cup's awesome. So make sure you get some. Or one day you might find me in an alley. And then you'll buy the coffee, whether you like it or not. Yeah, got it. You didn't see a short, man. I thought you would have been one of the first people that did. Hold on, I'll show you. There she is in all her glory. Bitter coffee for bitter people. And I'm not bitter. But I make myself bitter so I can enjoy this coffee. And so fit you. Looks good, man. Looks good. I like it. It's right here with the rest of my important things. Message held for review. Oh, I want to see it. It's not what? I'm showing it. I get what you're saying, but I mean, there's a lot of places that kind of do their logo the same way, you know, where they use one letter between the two main nouns in the title. and it's quite clever. And it just, I don't think it would sound better any other way. That's the best way to say it. That's a good name. Yeah, that's why that's exactly why. Yeah, that's exactly why. That's exactly why. I'm never going to be able to say that right. I'm telling you, there are some things I just cannot say correctly. And that is one of them. So, CJ, I apologize for that. That's why there's a link on the channel page. Because I'm going to go, make sure you get this little army from bringing the, you know, it links in the bio. Just show the cup, show the bag, say link in bio, go. It's a good name. I like it. And it's really good coffee. It really is. Stupid fly. Nobody paid you to be here. It sounds like the kids are playing Phasmophobia again. Oh man. Now she said it. I just oh, we're gonna have to run that one through AI and see what comes up, right? What kind of picture we get? Oh, that'd be some funny stuff right there, I'll tell you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, PXT's right. We're probably never gonna get monetized at this rate. Nobody likes me. I don't get very many viewers on the live. And then when I do a live where I fly a drone, fly a drone or a plane, you see what I'm talking about? They're not gonna see it because they're gonna say, oh, he's gone live again, and 10 people are gonna show up. This is true. This is true. I'm still broke though, so kind of wondering why. No, I think this should be pretty good. You know, working on a VA. Flat Earth? Flat Earth? There is no flat Earth. Like people with narrow vision. Oh, the irony of that statement. Tell me somebody sees the irony in that statement. I'm trying to sell coffee, boss. I'm trying. Flat for sure. But don't get me going. You know what happens here? I don't like the flat Earth crap. I don't understand nothing. What is there? A freaking Pyrex dish over our head we gotta worry about? That's why rockets don't make it to space. Idiots. The straight up idiots. I mean, come on. I really want you to see the truth. All of you flat earthers, I want you to see the truth. And the funniest statement I've ever heard from a flat earther is, it seems like flat earth teachings are popular around the globe. And I just thought to myself, I certainly hope that's satire, because if you're that dumb, I hope you don't have a driver's license. Plain and simple. Water always finds its level. That's called gravity, bitch. Get used to it. And you run into these old Karens that still believe in flat earth, flat earth, flat earth, flat earth. There's no such thing as gravity. Well, then explain to me why you don't have breasts anymore. It looks like 2 fried eggs hanging on a fucking nail. There, I just disproved flat earth. I'm telling you, that's the truth of it right there. Tell her to disprove the globe theory now. I love it when those people say, we're moving at thousands of miles an hour and you don't feel it. That's called gravity. You're moving along with the surface of the earth. You don't feel it because the earth is massive. And prospectively, we are moving slow. In one sense, in another, very fast. It just depends on where you're viewing from. And if you happen to be in geostationary orbit, the Earth doesn't look like it's moving. But if you are not in a geostationary orbit and you are in an orbital velocity going the opposite way of the Earth, and you cut that in half, that's how fast people are moving through space. So nobody says anything about the clouds that don't move. They're like, how come we don't feel it? The clouds don't feel it. The atmosphere doesn't feel it. It does feel it to a degree. But my point is, it's all stuck to the earth because of gravity. Dost thou understand me? Gravity, okay? It doesn't matter if it's round, triangle, square, flat, whatever. Gravity is the reason why everything sticks to a globe. That's the whole point. Now, take a drop of water, drop it, and film it with a slow-mo camera. You see what shape it takes? A sphere. That's what happens. It tries to rebound from a droplet into a sphere and hold the sphere shape until gravity takes over and it falls to the ground and splatters. You know why that is? Because the simplest shape in the universe is a sphere because of space-time. That's how it works. Interstellar space. Things that have mass create gravity. We don't know how. They just do. Why? I just said it. We don't know how. So, why in a 3-dimensional space, it's actually 4-dimensional, because if it was 3-dimensional, then we'd only observe 2 dimensions, so we're the 4th dimension. Actually, time is the 4th dimension, but we're not going to get into that right now. The point is, if it was flat, we would not have a spherical background radiation map of the universe. Those people give me a headache. They do. I swear, they can bring on a freaking small aneurysm and just at any moment with their idiocracy. Harsh areoles that the hole in the ozone actually got smaller. I imagine in the 80s that would have worked. There was a lot of people using Aquanet. We're to blame for the hole in the ozone layer. The 80s. Buck. Oh man. There's a hole in the ozone layer. Can you see it? Sure can. Oh man, I can't see anything. Everything's blurry. Must not be there. Oh man. Yeah, it is getting better. It's kind of funny. It's because we're keeping the CO2 level where it needs to be because we're actually burning fossil fuel. And guess what? Plants like that. They like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and they use the sun through a process we call photosynthesis in the real world, and it creates oxygen in the process. Not to mention the vegetation, the food that comes from the vegetation that feeds the wildlife, and the wildlife that we killed that the vegans are pissed off about. But if we don't eat the animals that are nourished by the vegetation, then what will happen is they'll eat all the vegetation, and then there won't be any food for the vegans, and then we'll have to eat the vegans. Bottom line. Okay? So, choose your battles. I got Dorito fingers. Bacteria. Okay. Little ASMR finger cleaning. Yes, we would have to eat the vegans. They would eat all our vegetation and then kill off our wildlife. And then they'd be healthy meat. I'll tell you that. Grass-fed. There's no place for the weak in our new empire. I like that. That's a good slogan. I'll say that next time I mortally wound someone. Good Lord. Who said that? Yeah, I heard it. But when my teenagers just let out the freaking B word. Well, make me come in there. Get back in your cell. Don't make me get the hose. My wife's laughing her butt off. Oh, that was funny. It's always fun when they get involved. YouTube's gonna be like, I heard a child. Someone called Diddy, one escaped. Did you buy enough metal? Did you find the gold bar I lost for you? Oh man, this has been a fun live. I like it. It's funny. I think I'll smoke some stuff like that, you know, before every live. It's so much fun. Oh yeah. The only thing about California that is good is that being legal. I hope it's legal in another state that I want to move to that's really cool. Because I want mountains and like plains and snow and cannabis. That's all one needs to survive. Oh yeah. Cannot forget the coffee. Forgive me, CJ. Wow. It's the cannabis that slipped my mind. But then I'd be pissed if I couldn't find my coffee because I forgot it. It's legal there too. People are coming to their senses in other states. Saying so. Next thing you know, they'll think Second Amendment. Well, shit, that was for our protection. Oh, I'm telling you. Yeah, you vote that shit, CJ. You better vote like 30,000 times. And if they don't pass the law, they're going to know everybody that smokes weed. They're going to be like, go get them. There's a flip side to that coin that no one will enjoy. So make it pass. Make it pass. You have to. You guys got any other questions? Or you just want to hear some more random off-the-wall humor that absolutely makes no sense and is morally incorrect? Anybody see that reel about Trump deporting people? with like a trebuchet, and he comes busting through the wall to Kid Rock and like shooting missiles out of his freaking crotch and stuff like that. I'm sorry, but that shit was funny. You know, that was just too funny. That made my day right there. I mean, just because they're trying to plead with the machine, and that's the same damn thing we've been doing for years. And nobody listens. All they do is fire missiles. It's like the perfect, it's the perfect storyline in reverse, and I love it. Now, I believe in immigration. I do. But you got to count the motherfuckers, or no, we can't supply any kind of assistance to them while they try to get on their feet. And the next time I see somebody come through with 1,300 Social Security numbers, I'm going to be like, well, where's all your kids at? How the hell are you still alive? You know, it's like, I mean, give me a break, you know? The corruption's all over the place. It's crazy. I want that tax money back. Now buy me some big motors. Build more stuff. That's what we need. Yeah. Cloud Cruiser, enjoy that smoke, brother. Burn them lungs. Oh, guys. This has been a fun live. I must admit, I might be running out of steam. I got a game. Something I wanted to play since I played it on Xbox One. I think I had it. It was a Hunt Showdown. And I got real good at it on that game. But I got it on Steam now, so now I can play it on PC. And it's still just as fun, but you still have the people like in Warzone that buy everything with like cash, and then they go in and they just hunt other players instead of actually going for the goal. It's like the same trolls, or I don't know if they learned how to hack the game just like they did Warzone or not, but it's a little less enjoyable than it was initially when it was just an online game and it was new. Nobody knew how to hack the damn thing. But they have added a lot of content, and I do enjoy the game. So what I may do on one of my next game streams is actually stream Hunt Showdown. So you can all see how absolutely horrible I have become at trying to play a game through frickin' bifocals. Okay? Yeah, see, before I didn't have to have bifocals. Made it really easy to play. I was actually really good at the game. Then, everything started getting blurry over time. Now, I had to have bifocals and corrective lenses, and now I can't stare at my screen this way at a specific distance. I have to get this way, and then I have to get a hell of a lot closer. And I have a wraparound 32-inch monitor, so it's like, I can't see anything. It's confusing. It's like I find myself getting back looking like this and then getting closer looking like this. And it's like freaking eyeballs. Yes. Yes, use that DPC 10 at breakfastinbread.store to get your 10% off your order. Because that's some good coffee. And take it from someone who has drank coffee all of his life. Starbucks isn't even strong enough for me. And they don't have that robust aroma. I mean, this coffee is good. I got the Baker's chocolate one. That's some good coffee. I mean, you gotta, if you want to make it stronger, you can grind it and put it through an espresso machine. And if you add, milk to that with the Baker's chocolate, I mean, that's some coffee right there. But it's got to be strong, man. It's got to put hair on your ass. Then, yeah, I mean, it's just good coffee. I don't think I've uploaded anything to Maker World. I did do. I haven't made it a habit yet to upload STLs. Thingiverse has one of my blades on there and a tool holder. I did a 64 millimeter EDF blade. A guy got it, used it for something for his work, and it worked perfectly for him. He was like ecstatic about it. Thought it was an awesome replacement, and he didn't even use it in a damn plane or they used it for work. But as long as it helps somebody, I mean, hey, then cool. And I'll put some more files up, but I'll probably put them up on my Patreon. No, I'm not gonna charge like a bunch of money for STL files. That'd be a dick move. I'm just gonna make it cool when I finish up the Jav. When I finish up, actually the Shrike is up there already on the Patreon, or maybe it's the Buy Me a Coffee site. One of those shops. It's in the link in my bio. I know the Shrike is up there. The 70 millimeter list of components and the STL files, and the alternative to the 500, the APD 500X, which was the power distribution board I was using, is they have a Taro that you can use, but you'd have to modify it. I may actually put up a modified version with the Taro because it's the only high powered distribution board that I could find that can handle the amps. Because if you don't have something that can handle the amps of those EDFs, you're gonna fry it. You're gonna fry a standard ESC or power distribution board in a heartbeat. You gotta be able to handle 500 amps, period. So we're close to it. So that 480 from Taro works, but it had to do a little bit of modification. It is possible that you could make one yourself that could handle the amperage, just out of the right gauge wire. As long as you knew how to hook up the signal wire, things like that, so on and so forth. The APD 500X was a great board because it had telemetry, it had motor control already built into it. It was completely and totally integrated into the SpeedyV F405 wing that I used on the Shrike drone. That was a great combo, but APD stopped selling it to the hobbyist market, so you have to have a LLC in order to even order anything from them now. And now I gotta go get LLC so I can afford to order, and I'm sure they're gonna make me order like 20 of them at a time, or at least, or something. So yeah, that's gonna be a step I take so that I can still get APD's products, but not making it available to the hobbyists, one at a time, didn't make sense to me. And I even asked them, why in the world did you switch to commercial and stop selling to hobbyists and drone enthusiasts and things like that? And they said, oh, well, we switched there because we'd make more money. I'm like, so you cut out an entire revenue stream and bet it on another revenue stream? Why not just keep both revenue streams? That would have made more sense. You still sell the 500X, and you sell all your ESCs, but you only sell them commercially to LLC people? That makes no sense. But whatever. I'll have to spend the damn money to get an LLC, and then I can start ordering from them, and then I'll have to figure out how the hell I'm going to order whatever volume I want to order. I'm sure there'll be a minimum. So they got to make their money. But it's either that or we design our own. We use an AI, we design a PCB that can handle it, and that'll speak to the SpeedyV. And then PXD, I hope you're listening. We need a 500 amp power distribution board that can run 4 motor signal wires and telemetry back to the SpeedyV 405 wing APP. We make a power distribution board for that, make the PCB. I can import the PCB design into Fusion, and then I can have it produced. And then we'll have our own power distribution board. So I don't know enough about building PCBs myself. I just know soldering components, things like that. I gotta get more familiarized with chipsets and things like that if I'm gonna build my own. But realistically, to make one small enough to make it practical, it's going to have to be micro SMD, that kind of thing, multi-layer board. It's going to be built to handle the heat and disperse it properly. We could probably do better than what APD did if we designed our own. So I think we should get on that. But yeah, we need to develop that PCB. We need something that can handle 500 amps easy, with headroom if possible. And then we need to integrate our own cooling. Something simple, like Peltier technology. Same shit they put in a water cooler, and then a heat sink on top. So while this drone's moving, or a mounted fan on it, we could cool it quickly. I think we could make it more efficient than the APD circuits. So yeah, let's see what we can do with that. I think we can make that happen. And then I'll have a replacement component for the APD that's actually in the component list of the actual Shrike STLs that are on the Buy Me a Coffee website. If it's not on that one, it might be on the Patreon. I can't remember. But hey, sign up while you're there. You know, let the algorithms know that people give a damn. Sign up for the Patreon. Sign up for the free Patreon. You know, you get 30 days for free, and it's only $3 afterwards if you stay. And then that's going to be where the STLs are. So it's worth the membership, you know. Once we fly the drone that I'm currently printing, then I'll have its STLs, and I'll put all the components listed that up as well. So I think it's going to be a fun flying machine. And it will be unmistakable in the air. Everyone's going to look up and like, what the hell is that flying around? Well, that looks like it. And that's where the Austin Powers thing kicks in, I'm telling you. It's funny. I designed it to be a vertical drone for high speed, and it ended up looking like a dick. I'm sorry. That's just what happened. You know, every freaking rocket ship in the damn world looks like one. So I'm not the first guy that made it. All right, so don't blame me. You guys are the ones with dirty minds. Well, you want to show me how you 3D print the drone? What do you mean you want me to show you how I 3D print them? Wait, hold on. CJ, quit giving it different names, damn it. It's a Dildrone. Not an ass rocket. You guys are funny as hell. The plug. Oh, damn you! I gotta make a longer one with a rounder top. That's not funny, man. You're putting ideas in my head and I gotta make them. Shut up. $150? That's it? Well, shit, son. You need to catch up. I mean, more power to you for the design, but I'm starting at 150. speed 220. Respectable. What do you burn up in the process? How long can you maintain top speed? I swear I hear people fucking around, and I'm not. So I hope that I did not just hear somebody jump over the fence into my backyard. Because you guys are about to hear something go off. Motherfuckers. Trespass again. I need more fertilizer in the backyard. 6 minutes at 220 miles an hour was the kilovolts on the motor. And the pack you were using for 6 minutes. But how many? I assume it's his standard X quad design, and you're using motors. So I'm curious about the motors in the pack and the ESC that's running. I assume it's a built-in all-in-one ESC. I could be wrong. You could be using external ESCs. There you go. See, that I could do with like a couple of stubby fans. Then all you have to do is tilt it to glide. Like the real glider. You just set your throttle. You'd be sky surfing. It's a big ass pack. Impressive. What's the KV on your motors? That's what I'm asking. Like, hey, what's your prop size? Is there a class size that you have for this? Like, is it a 5-inch, 7-inch, 3-inch? For that speed, you're running KVs of at least 3,000. 3-bladed prop, possibly 120 millimeter prop. 12 to 16 inch props. Damn. So a lower KV motor then. Well, that one engine that I have sitting behind me, I showed you guys, the red one, is putting out 55 pounds of thrust. That has an RPM of 30,000, and it's a 22 blade high pass. So collectively, the drone has 220 pounds of lifting force. And it weighs like 45, 50 pounds. So the thrust to weight ratio is above 3. And that's actually running 8 6,000 milliamp packs. At 22.2 volts, it's series 48 volts per motor, 12,000 milliamps per motor. And I can idle it at 11 amps per motor. Idle the mid-range throttle is, I think when I topped out at 35 amps at half throttle, 80 amps 3/4. If I pushed it straight to 32,000 RPMs, I was hitting 115 amps. Yeah, so my top speed was, last calculation was, the reason why I started a Mach 1 project is because my last calculation with 2 motors put me above 720 miles per hour with the right airframe. But it wasn't a drone. It was SR-72 Darkstar model. Drone. Now, if I get the Strike XL at 90 degrees and punch it, and it's not in angle mode, I mean, I'm hitting 400, 500 miles an hour once I peak out. But it'll rip itself apart at that point. It's not designed for that speed. It's designed for the power, but not for the top speed. The plane's designed for the speed. .4 amp hover. That's good at 3S. $250mm class, yeah. That sounds about right. 4.4 amp hover is actually pretty good. It's those spikes you gotta watch out for. Oh, shit. CJ, you could ride this drone, man. I'm telling you. And its bigger brother, I plan on flying, but the blades are going to be CNC'd out of aluminum. And it's going to be like riding a quad. Just airborne. So yeah, I mean, a glider I would do. That'd be cool. I designed a long-range glider with 2 of these engines. It has a 13-foot wingspan, but it's a high-range reconnaissance glider. And I can't get into the specifics with that one. You ride like a surfboard, so you don't have to really high learning curve. Yeah, that's... I imagine if I made like a Goblin style glider, that would be exactly like it is. You wouldn't have the resistance of the water to worry about. So stops and starts would be a little bit more finicky. But once you got used to it, just be like riding a wave. You're just basically controlled falling. You just have to be able to handle the G's on the turn. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what the quad's for, man. That's why I'm building the quad. That's why I need to get that pocket NC so I can start CNCing the hub and the blades. I've already designed everything. You basically climb on it like a motorcycle and just... You can hover at ground level, and LiDAR and cameras will keep you at ground level, regardless of bumps and things like that, at a specific level, like a standard ride height. And then after that, you can transition to, okay, well, I'm gonna go higher, so I'm gonna come out of ground mode. So now I have a height, and of course, as long as you're flying below 400 feet, the FAA doesn't care. So it's just a matter of being responsible like driving any vehicle. You freaking clothesline yourself with a power line, don't blame me. That's why I'm not selling it to some of the people local. These people around here, they be drinking beers, busting them all over the place for freaking 150 feet. Dropping them, hitting transformers. I wonder why the power's going out. I think if we limited the height, yeah, flying over townships is something you can't do. I think there needs to be a skyway infrastructure for this, GPS based, you know, linked to the cloud through your HUD and your helmet, things like that. And then it would be just like driving on any other road, but there would need to be a GPS infrastructure. So I'm designing a GPS infrastructure that I can hopefully get funding for so we can run it in a test area and see how accurate it is and how safe it is. Geofencing, basically, over distance. Safety devices, obviously, on board, parachutes, things like that. Yes, they do, and that's a good point. That's a very good point. And most commercial aircraft are usually above 400 feet. So if we have a regulated skyway infrastructure, then the idea is plausible. It just needs to be demonstrated. And not like California Gavin Newsom speed rail demonstrated, where there's 30 feet of track and $20 billion later. I mean, like actually building this shit, and giving people a product. So, and that was a scam and a half. I wonder how many friggin' new cars and houses he bought with that shit. Oh shit, it's 9:40. I gotta talk to kids, you guys. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut it short because we're having a good conversation, but how it is around here. Yes, you've been warned. But yeah, we're gonna get on this tomorrow. I'll give you some. There'll be a short or video up showing the completed of this. I might do a build video for everyone so they can kind of see it go together, or I'll do it live. But no one likes my lives. 10 of you do. But until tomorrow, until next time, I have everything printed, which will be shortly, a couple of days max. You guys will see what's going up with the Dildrone, and then we're going to take it out and fly it. We might fly it live. If people freaking show up, I'll fly it live. But getting people's interest nowadays is hard because I don't have any tits. So, I guess intellect isn't valued as much. But love you all. Thank you all for being here. Make sure you get your bitter coffee. And then I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful night.